Oh, and we are live.
So who's in here tonight? Anybody with us? We have to thank Colin for our lovely new graphic.
Yeah, Colin, thank you. We just had a very interesting discussion about that graphic.
We did.
We have a loaded show for you, by the way. We have a special guest. April, would you like to tell the world about our special guest?
We do. We have a Reiki master, Jim G, who will be coming on and explaining how energy works, the benefits of Reiki, and some information about chakras and different things like that. Healing. Reiki is a big healing thing that a lot of people don't know much about. So we were going to be doing that. That will be the second half of the show.
First half, man, we got some stuff coming out.
Yeah, we do.
April will probably, discuss everything, and then we will have the group discussion about the big fight at Golden Corral.
We are. Hey, Fred. Hey, Allie, Eva, Alexa. There you go. Loose Cannon, who got in first. He's like, tag, I'm here first. Ha.
Dad's Root Beer is not a sponsor of the show. I happen to be enjoying one right now.
It's good. Hey, little duck. Hello. Welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. So we have we're going to talk about some of the latest science to come out globally of different studies real quick. We won't be on that one too much, but we will talk about the city of brotherly love and how they have a hangry way of showing it. And then we also have a guest on tonight, a Reiki master. So, hi, Winona. How are you doing?
Well, I think we're filling up. Are we ready to get this party started, or are we ready?
We are. Right. I can repeat that once we go through the whole thing too.
Absolutely.
All right,
Colin, hit it.
Welcome to the most important podcast you are listening to right now, The A Show with April Hunter and Aron Stevens.
Hello, and welcome to the A Show. And in case you didn't know, we about to let it flow. Translation, for those of you that weren't in the pre-chat, we are going to have an array of topics discussed, likes of which will be current events, a brawl at Golden Corral, and energy healing. April, would you like to tell everyone the details, please?
Oh, sure. Well, first off, thank you for joining us. We have a new moon tonight. Are you guys going to write your intentions down and burn them up and send them off into the universe? You know what I mean? We got to do that. So yeah, tonight later on our second half of the show, we have on Jim G, who is the owner of Advanced Massage Arts and Education in Tempe, Arizona. And he was the 2018 inductee to the Massage Therapy Hall of Fame. Yes, that is a real thing. But he is a Reiki master, or as they say, Reiki master. I'm not sure if I'm saying those correctly, but he's going to tell us a little bit about energy, manipulating energy, and how it's used for healing. And we might possibly touch on chakras and things like that too. So stick around for that one.
I just want to say something. How good do you have to be to get into the Massage Therapy Hall of Fame? Because I've had some pretty good massages.
Yeah.
Best one I ever had was in Kansas City. Wonderful lady. I forget her name. She had, I remember, kind of like purplish hair. And just a wonderful person. But man, I tell you what, she could do stuff to your neck and your leg feels better. And I if she's not in the Hall of Fame, I don't know who is, unless this guy is just so far and above it. So I can't wait.
I don't know, but he apparently knows stuff, because I personally think I give a pretty decent massage and I have never once been nominated. So he's got to be really good. So, yeah. Hey, Cam, what's up?
Oh,
and hey, Alex,
that was a massage therapist with WWE. It wasn't just a random woman I would see for massages. That was a therapist that would see us when we were there for WWE. Just to clear that up.
Was she like the type? Never mind. Anyway, the happy ending.
No.
I'm kidding. So
there were no happy endings in that place. Trust me.
So as we predicted last week with the Neil Young versus Joe Rogan shit show that would turn into a storming shit show, we were once again accurate. So that has been a very interesting debate, right? So I don't know if you guys read what I wrote, but I put a blog up because
y'all listen to this.
Because it seemed weird to me that any artist, Neil Young, anybody would be okay with censorship or taking away free speech. It just doesn't seem right because everything, like all art and music, is about they're against censorship. And I remember Neil Young many, many years ago flipped out on MTV for censoring him. So it doesn't make sense that he would call to have somebody else censored. It just doesn't. So I started digging and I was just stunned at the stuff that I was finding. So, Colin, do you have the screenshots at all? So it turns out that there's a company called Blackstone. They're also related to BlackRock, which you might be familiar with them. They are buying up all the housing and then renting at high prices. They're also deforesting the Amazon. But they additionally thought that buying entire catalogs of musicians' music would be a great way to invest. So Neil Young has his music owned by this company, Blackstone. So I started digging a little bit more and I'm like, okay, so what does that mean exactly? So I started trying to figure out Blackstone, who all they own and what all they own. So I came across this next thing on their own website where Blackstone has a life sciences team and they're in pharmaceuticals as well. And one of their main partnerships is with Pfizer. So it's a weird coincidence, right? Just so weird. So it turns out that so we create a shitstorm of distraction and have everybody fighting about morals and values when the reality is we have a company that owns a catalog of music and artists who is also partnered with Pfizer, and Pfizer sponsors pretty much every mainstream news channel out there. They are actually doing a silencing thing with Joe Rogan. So, and if you dig for that, you will find it. I don't understand why more people don't dig, why they take things at face value instead of just looking. But you can dig and go a lot further than that. So what's going on right now?
Only going to make it more over.
Huh?
Only going to make it more over.
Yeah, I know.
Never underestimate the American public's sense of, like, we feel we're being told something. Well, guess what? We're going to do the opposite just because we're American. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
Like, never underestimate that. Seriously.
I know.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Like teenagers. We're like teenagers. So, you take a 15-year-old and say, do this, it's for the good of you. And they're like, I'm doing something else. So that's America.
Kick-ass military, though.
Well, Israel has a kick-ass military. So does Germany.
Yeah, so do we. But so do we. We're okay. We're okay.
So yes, that is the root of what's actually going on out there. While all these people fight about Joni Mitchell and Neil Young and all this other bullshit, and they try and divide us and divide and conquer, when in reality, there are companies that run this entire country and run everything. And there are Blackstone, which is a division of BlackRock. So look into those companies, stop allowing yourself to be manipulated and divided, and start listening and looking. Because the more divided we are, the easier it's going to be to fuck us over 6 ways till Tuesday. So stop being manipulated. Ugh, I hate that.
It's Tuesday now. So that would be Tuesday through.
Yeah, that'd be 7 times.
Yeah, no, 6 ways to Tuesday. So that would be, I mean, you would start on Wednesday, then Thursday. Or you start on Thursday, probably.
Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's 6
all right.
ways.
You're thinking too much, as you always do. So hi, Lori. Hi, New Jersey Wildcat.
Lori, how's it going?
I know. NWS.
Hello, by the way. If you're going to say hi to Eva, shout out to Eva.
Shout out to Eva. Hey, what's up, Wolf? Corgos. We got Corgos sent. Hi, Chuck. So thanks for everybody for joining us. We appreciate it. So we are just going to hit a couple of things real quick before we get into our fun story. So today we celebrate.
Not fun. It's not fun.
Today we celebrate the vaccine milestone of 10 billion people vaccinated globally. Yay! Good job, everyone. I might be more excited for that if it actually worked, but that is the milestone that we hit today. So the science community has come out with a couple of interesting things that recently, and I mean, not so long ago, got everybody banned and kicked off of Twitter and Facebook and everything else that we were talking about it. So the first was natural immunity. It actually exists. And the CDC has confirmed this. And they said it's 6 times more effective for Delta than any vaccine. Of course, until the CDC says it, nobody actually believes it. So you can do all the research in the world, but you have to understand that they get their information from the people on the ground who are working with clients and customers and patients. So it takes them a while to get real information. Like it trickles to them last. So the second thing that was really interesting was Japan came out with a trial that said ivermectin is effective for all strains of COVID. All of them, even this new one. And they're waiting for that to be peer reviewed, but it is showing much success. So you're not going to see that testing or trial here in America, but you got to look when you want to look for information, you have to look elsewhere and be willing to look in other languages, other countries. So yes, the same natural immunity and ivermectin that would get you literally taken out in a public and stoned, banned, made fun of, bullied, called a conspiracy theory, called a murder of grandmothers. These things are apparently actually true. Yeah.
What do you know? What do you know?
So sometimes I wonder, I'll say this here first, and this might get me heat. Sometimes I wonder, you know how Biden said we were a pandemic of the unvaxxed? I think it's the opposite. I think we're a pandemic of the vaccinated.
I think we're a pandemic of the stupid.
That too. But we never had a variant until all the mass vaccinations happened.
Well,
and
look,
a virus's only job is to survive on its host, so they're going to adapt and get stronger.
Okay, so would a vaccination help or hinder the actual like development or just the time? Like what variable does that, because if viruses adapt, things happen, is this just again a natural progression we are just witnessing? I mean, and I've kind of like taken this stance now. Because God, there's so much negativity and you can't ignore it. But what I like to think is that in the overall picture, like as humanity, as we all kind of go through this, the struggle and whatever we're going through, and it's part of a bigger picture. It's almost like growing pains. And, and then yes, as the viruses are becoming weaker, which I think
they are supposed to become weaker, more adaptable and weaker.
Yeah. So it's just like, all right, and we're getting back to normal and things. I just think like the overall like trajectory of humanity, this is somehow kind of playing into it, or is a byproduct of it. My opinion.
Well, somebody, I agree with you. And like you said, it's a pandemic of the stupid. That's actually the real problem out there.
Well, yeah.
But somebody said, Alex Hay said, Joe Rogan's podcast with Dr. Peter McCullough and Dr. Robert Malone are worth a listen. They are actually, and that's what brought him so much heat. And I have taken a lot of heat on Twitter from people that just kind of spout things. They just say things like, they're like, oh, these 2 doctors are quacks. They shouldn't be, they're not even licensed, but they are licensed and they are still practicing. So I'm pretty sure that's correct. I mean, I looked them up the other day when somebody suggested that they were not working anymore, and they are still working. So it's a little bit strange that people get these ideas in their heads and just don't bother looking anything up to verify. They just spout it off. And that's the misinformation out there, even from the commoner, just gets tweeted and retweeted and tweeted and retweeted. So on the last bit of that, there was an interesting article that says, no, it's not your imagination. Your memory really is getting worse during this time. So I don't know if you guys have noticed that, where you feel like maybe you're losing your freaking mind, or I can't remember what you made for dinner the other night, or can't remember somebody's name. Apparently we are visual learners. and we mark time by the things we do. And if we're not going places and doing as much, and we're seeing people's faces are masked up and all that, it's really hard for us to take that information in. So our memories are not as good as they used to be.
Wow.
So, yeah. So to those,
I'm sorry. What are we talking about?
Right. Exactly. So if you feel like you're getting a little touch of dementia, it might not be you. So
yeah, good.
There you go.
Right. By the way, what does everybody think about the laugh? I think I'm going to start incorporating that into my wrestling repertoire. Are we pro or anti laugh? I just want to get y'all's opinion on that.
What, your slick laugh?
Yeah, the little.
Your doctor of.
Like that, yeah. Like, I think I'm going to start doing that now. So I'll probably just start doing that on here, because I'm practicing for the next phase of my career.
Do it. Just do it.
Yeah. All right.
I think you should do it.
All right. So what else we doing? What else we have for?
Well, the city of brotherly love had a rather hangry situation. This is my city, so it was really interesting to watch.
And Eva. Let's not forget a good friend, Eva.
I can't say I'm surprised though. So yeah, this is your story. You tell it.
Colin, please join us.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on one second, Aaron. I'm pulling it up for you.
Yeah, this is one of those things you guys have to see rather than us tell you about.
Yeah, pardon me.
Not COVID.
Yeah, no, it's not COVID. Yes, I would like all of you to where is it?
And thank you, Eva. Thanks to all of you who are subscribers and you're throwing bits and you tip.
Much appreciated.
That's, we have hosting fees to pay at the end of the month, so it's nice when everybody contributes.
All right, so
here you go.
Pause it, please. If you could pause it, be so kind. Thank you. Philadelphia. So
I just want to go like this every time someone says Philadelphia. Okay, go ahead.
A massive brawl at Pennsylvania Golden Corral involving 40 people erupts over steak.
Yeah.
Okay? Over steak.
What the fuck else are you going to fight over?
Now, I want you all to just zero in. Call it, yeah, you do the thing with the screen where you just make the whole screen if you can, whatever. We're going to analyze this because before we do this, and Colin, I'd like you to join us. I have a theory. This brawl, single-handedly, it signals one thing. America is back. Okay? And on a number of different reasons.
Are you sure?
Colin, where are you? I can't
I'm right
see
here.
it.
No, I'm here. I'm here with you guys.
America, and I want
right
y'all to follow this. America is back.
No,
Pandemic, everything shut down. Restaurants, we couldn't, the drive-through and everything was crazy. And okay, well then as things slowly start to kind of get back, well, the buffets, you can't go to the Chinese buffet, the Golden Corral, that's not a thing, it's still dealing with things. And then even then, when they opened it up, there's trepidation. Like people have, their own reservations about going there and like, let's make sure doesn't get out of hand again because we don't know, right? Mm-hmm. But no, we are now at a point where as a nation, we can get back to fighting at an all-you-can-eat buffet over steak. All right? Not like it's the last piece of steak. There's probably so many other steaks out there, but these people decided that it was a good idea to throw down, by the ribeye. You know what I mean?
I would throw down by a ribeye. Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Maybe some a melee.
I'm from Philly too, so I don't see anything wrong with it.
Maybe a melee by the fillet.
Yeah. You got to parry at the porterhouse and then stick the jab at the seasoning. You know what I mean?
Jam at the ham.
Yep. Knock them in the A1 and they're done. So now I want everyone now to please pay attention to this video because look what happens, right? The brawl breaks out. The whole restaurant at Golden Corral said, oh, hell no. And they left their meals and they are going towards this. F social distancing, F all that. This is like we are back to this is a full-on fight. There's not a mask in sight. Like this is whoa. Okay. Well, apparently the Rona is over. So let's watch this.
I'm convinced everybody jabbed has some kind of brain issue now.
Watch this. Watch that. Of course, the employees wearing their masks like the responsible people should, and that's true.
Oh, we got chairs.
Look at that.
Oh, shit. They're wielding high chairs.
Yeah.
Look at that guy hanging on to his beverage. He's escaping with the cup. He just stole the cup on camera.
Chairs are flying. Oh my
They're just
God.
like, but did you see the guy steal the cup? You see him steal the cup?
Yeah, I
That was
saw
by
him
the
steal the
exit.
cup. Only you would notice that.
He just jacked that cup. We all saw it.
He paid for his drink.
Look at that. We got.
Oh! That guy picks up a table.
Oh, like, what the hell? What the hell? Wait, but what the? Why? What? This is.
Fucking
Okay.
Philly, man. Fucking Philly.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
It goes on for another minute or so where
People are mad.
Look at one guy in the suit.
it's the guy in the suit and the guy in the gray and the blue shirt.
Yep.
Yeah,
I like
that
how
guy's
it
pissed
says
as
gather
they were-
round.
Look, that guy's mad.
It
That
does.
yeah. Look,
I love it. Gather round.
Gather round. It says gather round.
That's the pure irony of it all.
His pants fell down. He pulled them up. Well,
Fucking Philly.
but that, I mean, come on. On some level, you know what? And I think that there's in tragedy and in bad stuff, good can come out of it. And I think maybe the overall good is like, shit, America's back. I mean, there were people brawling each other, throwing furniture, and at the end of the day, why couldn't
Yeah.
they just punch each other in the face? Everyone had a problem with the furniture.
Yeah, the poor furniture. Oh my God. Yeah, on behalf of for I would like to apologize for our Philadelphians to everybody else.
But
I would love to
No.
say I've never seen that before, like anywhere, but honestly, I've seen it like
dude,
every weekend when you were in Philadelphia. Like you were always remember how you always say I'm on defense all the time? Like
Mhm.
you were always waiting for like a fight to break out. Like what? Oh, you should pass you the pepper. Okay, hang on a second.
So our guest behind the scenes put in the private chat. He wants to hear Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone call this brawl.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
dude.
It is a slobber knocker.
And then, like, did you see the guy? He walks around and his pants fall down. He pulls them back up like he was.
Wow. And hey, Steve, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. And thanks for everybody throwing bits and everything. Yeah, Alexa goes stupid. You know what? Nailed it. No, that is a German perspective of American bullshit right there.
Yeah.
Was ist das für einen Scheiß?
No, yeah, and that's the thing, Alexa. It's not like it was the last piece of steak. Like there was, it's Golden Corral. Like I don't know if you guys have. I mean, there's smorgasbords over in Germany, but like here too, it's like you go to this place and like whatever you want, they just keep making more of it. Like you pay one price and you just sit there and you just keep eating.
Yeah.
And you can have
Aaron, as someone that worked there for 5 years as a manager, there was plenty of other things that they could have gotten and didn't have to argue over the steak. There's pot roast.
love the pot roast.
There's fried chicken. There's seafood salad. There's all kinds of other things.
Bourbon
that these people
chicken.
could have gotten. Bourbon chicken. There's
bourbon-
the
I mean,
bourbon chicken.
dude,
the
we
orange
Bourbon
talk
chicken's
chicken.
about-
really good. Yeah.
You talk about a staple from there, and you know what you guys had? You had great chicken tenders. They were only available at lunchtime, though. I always thought you should have carried because what I like to do, I take one of your honey rolls and I'll cut it in half, slice the chicken tender up. I put some cheese on it from the salad bar, and then I get a little cup of honey mustard and a little cup of ranch, and I can, whatever I feel like. I put a little bit on that, and I have a little sandwich. And I also do that with the steak. And let me tell you, it is delightful.
That
There's
sounds wonderful.
so many combinations that you can come up with other than fighting. We got food combinations. We got fist combinations.
Yeah, I mean, it's a jab, cross, hook, or bourbon chicken, fried chicken. And you know what? I think I'll take a brownie just because I can, and I'm walking by the dessert tray. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well,
And you know what? Screw it. I'm going to get some pizza. Pizza doesn't go with what I'm having, but there's pepperoni and a cheese pizza out there. Why the hell shouldn't I grab some? You know what I'm talking about, Colin?
Pizza goes
Oh,
with
yeah.
everything. I'm
Yes, it does.
sorry. You know, you feel like crab rangoon is a condiment. Pizza is actually the condiment.
Absolutely.
It goes with everything.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
goes with everything.
Yep.
So
Yep.
mhm. Hi, Chris. How are you doing? Welcome.
Mhm.
So that's what happens when you get hangry, I suppose.
I guess so. Yeah, Lori, how high quality was the steak? Must have been the best grade. It doesn't even say.
Yeah.
I don't know if it I don't know if it got past even probably getting seared. And maybe they
I
were
don't
probably
know.
fighting over it right when it came off.
I don't know. That's as I look at that, I go, oh, fucking Philly, man. Like,
Yeah.
just, you know what I
Yep.
mean? Like,
Yep. Yeah, hey,
anyway.
that was that was my story. I saw that. I'm like, we got to talk about that on the show. That was just it's okay. I need you to tell me if I'm a bad human being for this. When I was a kid, the movie The Warriors. Now, how many Warrior fans are out there? Because actually, April and I had this discussion once when she is the comic book nerd and she's into all these cons and everything, and really kind of smart to that whole world, whereas I know nothing about it. But when I was like, "Oh yeah, what about the Warriors?" And she's like, "Huh?"
Yeah, I never saw it. I only saw that first
I
little
was
thing
like,
too.
"Excuse me, like how the hell do you not know the greatness that is the Warriors?" And there's
I don't know the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was on.
that's not even a like. Yeah.
I've been on the road my entire life. This is the first time I'm not. Since I was a teenager, just like you. That's the one thing we have in common.
Mm-hmm. But I found time for the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay, fine.
I found time for that. I found time to watch the Warriors enough where I can quote the movie. These Warriors is such a great movie. I think it's in some ways a precursor to a lot of the Marvel movies because you blend like it's a very gritty real world kind of situation and scenarios, but then there's this weird over the line comic book element to it, like with the baseball furies and everything.
Ooh.
And where I was originally going with this, when I was a kid, I was told with my little cousins to get in the den and watch this because there's a good bat fight coming up. And it was literally the Warriors beating the crap out of the baseball furies with baseball bats. I mean, hitting them in the face, the kneecaps, the groin. I mean, everywhere you can imagine. And it kind of got our interest for the rest of the movie. So I was with a friend of mine and my godson, who's a bit older. He's not a child. I did the same thing. And him and his dad, we all watched the Warriors.
Oh, that's good parenting right there.
And I think like when he thinks about that movie now, he's going to think about me, and I think is that maybe a good thing.
I'm sure it's a wonderful thing, Aaron.
No, you know what? I'm becoming more wise. I think as my year.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, Chuck says he saw it when it first came out, when it was in the theater.
Oh yeah, but no, it's a great movie. All right, Bampas, this next one, and then it's so like Carmen Sandiego lady. I forget her name slips my mind.
Now I'm gonna have to watch it.
No, I'm telling you, like, so everyone by a show of hands or a thumbs up or whatever. I don't know if you can do the emojis, but should April watch the Warriors and report next week?
Are you giving me freaking homework? I already have homework for my classes.
This is
I gotta watch This Is Us and The Good Place and work on our screenplay. Okay, but I'll find time to watch another movie. Are we doing this? Nobody's doing thumbs up.
Steve Miller in the City.
Oh, Fred, you gotta. Oh, there we go. Woof. All right, I will watch this. Oh, Chuck goes, I think it's on my Voodoo. Thanks. You just made it that much easier to watch too. Thanks a lot.
Bam.
Yep. Bam.
Can you dig it? You talk about stealing a movie.
Yeah.
Cyrus was in one scene at the beginning and stole the entire movie. Can you count, suckers? The future is ours if you can count.
Left a very lasting impression on Booker T.
Oh my God, yeah, that no, and here's the thing, like Booker was perfect for that, but if he hadn't have done it, someone else, in my opinion, would have eventually taken some form of that. But like, no, Booker's Booker, and like like everything, right? Like you catchphrase and whatever, you borrow it here, borrow it there. But like Booker took that phrase and made it so
His
over.
own.
Like, you know, and
Yep.
yeah, I always say this, like I'm saying this because this is how I genuinely feel. Booker T, as great as he is and as Hall of Fame as he is, does not get the credit he deserves for being one of the greatest of all time. I really believe that Booker T is one of the greatest of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I'll agree with
I
that.
mean, like staying power, being able to work
Yeah.
with anybody, always over, no matter what he does, it's always there. People are invested in him.
Yeah.
And he does not get the credit he deserves for, again, I think he should be in the categories with Angle and everyone else. If more people don't put him in that already, but I think he's awesome.
He is. I used to sit with him in WCW. It was like weird to come in there and not have any kind of wrestling experience or know anyone. But you know, you go into lunch and it's like high school again. It's like, oh shit, where do I sit? 'Cause everybody has their designated tables. And Booker was one of the people that was like, yeah, come sit with me. He was like super cool, and just had my lunch with him. There were a few people there that was, you know, made room for me. But yeah, well, speaking of Hall of Fame, we have a Hall of Famer coming on the show. Granted, it's not wrestling, it's Reiki. So
well, he's in the Massage Hall of Fame.
He is in the Massage Therapy Hall of Fame, yes. And his name is Jim G. And he's the owner of Advanced Massage Arts and Education in Tempe, Arizona. And he's going to talk to us about some cool stuff. So if Jim is there, can we bring him on? Hey.
Hello.
Hey, Jim.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
Good evening. How are you tonight?
I cannot complain. So we're excited to have you on.
Well,
Want to hear?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, thanks for coming. This is great.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell us about what you do and tell us how it works.
Oh, yes. I've been a massage therapist for 22 years and going strong. And over the years, you pick up a lot of, you know, tricks and trades and such. And I eventually became acclimated to Reiki and chakra alignment and energy work practices as a natural extension of the general massage practice. And so I remember taking, you know, just initial courses when I lived in SoCal, Southern California, and just really fell in love with that initially. Then just wherever I went, I just kind of took the work and went with it. And ultimately, I started to realize that the energy work, the Reiki work was really helping me how to connect with people. So it's not magic. It certainly is very, you know, legitimate therapy. And I just want to ask people to always have an open mind when learning new things. I know that TV might depict it certainly in wacko ways and woo-woo ways. And oh no, is he about to smoke the reefer on the show or something? I mean, certainly it is clearly out there. But you know, ultimately, it's a therapeutic practice, and it really helps any massage therapist or any holistic practitioner, any nurse, anyone, a psychiatrist, anyone who works with people to really have a great ability to connect with people.
Okay, so in layman's terms, there's a two-part question here. What is Reiki? I know it's a manipulation of energy, and you're not actually touching anybody. It's like you're working with them over top of them, right?
Yes.
So that's the first part. The second part is, can you describe chakras to people who might not understand chakras in a basic way?
Yes. So I describe Reiki as the art of presence, the art of being with a client, being with a patient, being with anyone in a therapeutic space, and connecting with them energetically. So we sense something in their bodies. We could sense a myriad of sensations off their body: heat, cold, numbness, tingling, vibrations, vortex feelings around the body. It does take time to hone the intuition. When someone does hone their intuitive touch skills, there can be touch. There doesn't have to be touch. We certainly could make contact with the body, but ultimately I'm just simply closing my eyes and sensing what I feel. And if I feel any heat, cold, tingling, numbness, vibrational sensation of any type, I know I can hold that area and apply sacred techniques and symbols as taught by Reiki master teachers. I can't reveal them now. They are secret, but we'll probably teach them in a classroom setting. Okay. But once we employ these techniques presented in a class setting, then we can start to harmonize the body. Ultimately, Reiki is about harmony, creating harmony in the body.
So in a way, it's like, and I don't mean to compare it to this. I'm just going to say, we hear about these amazing pets, these dogs that they know when their owner has cancer or has a blood sugar issue or something like that because they can sense it.
Yes.
It's kind of like honing in like that in a way, but being able to fix it on a cellular level.
Yes, 100% correct. There have been many studies done in New York by nurses and hospitals in New York verifying the objective results of Reiki usage in hospitals. But to go back to what you said about pets, pets don't have egos like people do. I've had teenagers, I've had younger children aged 9 and 10 actually attend my classes. I have a kind of a cutoff age of 8. So if you're 8 years old, I know that you already have a mind that can start to process more adult-like thinking more than a 6-year-old could. So when I have like a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, they come up with the best answers. They have the most profound experiences because there's a lack of ego. There's not the interference of what I think I should know, what should happen, all the scientific mumbo jumbo in your head. I think that can interfere with your ability to sense, because really, ultimately, I'm not doing much. I'm sensing and then harmonizing the body, but it doesn't take me a great effort to do this. I'm not getting tired after sessions because it's not necessarily making it happen.
Wow. And Jimmy, may I ask a question? April, is it cool? Is what you do unlike theta healing? Because I've had Reiki done, and I've actually recently just had what's called theta healing done, and I really noticed that there are some similarities in the two, and I didn't know like how close they actually were, or if they even were.
Yes, indeed. And so theta healing definitely goes in that same vein of energy work healing. There's about, I would say, 200 plus modalities we could call energy work, and pranic healing and theta healing and such all kind of fall in the same umbrella. Ultimately, I think a lot of it is author interpretation. Reiki is of Japanese descent, so the Japanese language and scriptures are kind of embedded into the work and such. So they have a certain MO, whereas other modalities certainly may come from different parts of the world or have their own vernacular to them, but ultimately it's about harmonizing the body and not getting in the way of the healing. I recognize that if I turn my mind off, simply close my eyes and just let my hands be where they need to be, sensing the body, applying the symbols and techniques, the work works by itself. I don't have to do much.
Wow.
Yeah, yes.
That's amazing.
And also, April, you asked about chakras. Chakras are fascinating. Chakras are essentially energy centers that are palpable. It does take time to learn intuitive touch, but once someone has that intuitive touch, and everyone can, I want to make sure your viewers certainly understand that everyone can learn Reiki, everyone can learn chakra alignment. It's not just for a sacred few. It's not for a priest in the high chair. I mean, certainly there's anyone. We all have the ability to love and to be loved and to hold therapeutic space. And as we do this, just like a parent with a child has this ability to hold space for their child, and healing can manifest from that. Same idea. I'm simply applying, again, it's just a certain ritual. Reiki has a certain ritual to it. But chakra alignment's the same idea. Chakras are energy centers that can be palpable to anyone, and I can sense any sensation. Again, heat, cold, vibration, tingling, numbness, fogs and mists and such. Really amazing to feel that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a special.
But you know what's amazing at that too, and where I grew up, Roman Catholic, and there's not a lot of talk of Reiki and things like that, and energy healing in Catholicism, although we, again, do acknowledge that that's possible through God, right? But or spirit or whatever. But there was a priest called Thomas Keating who had passed, but he started this thing called the Contemplative Prayer. And there's a series of lectures that he puts out, some of which you can see on YouTube. And he actually refers, this is, an ordained priest who's a monk, in the Catholic tradition, saying, no, there's 7 energy centers of the body. And this is how, so it was very, very much kind of, pretty along the same lines of like the Eastern philosophy and kind of their view on things. And I just thought it was fascinating. And it's a movement that's actually growing in the Catholic Church today. In fact, just now I'm out here in California, and I was leaving mass, and there was said, contemplative prayer movement, and it all started at a monastery in Massachusetts, about 20 minutes from where I grew up, which was interesting.
Pretty amazing stuff. I love that there's a confirmation that, when it comes to religion and spirituality, maybe we are more alike than we realize. I like that as I study energy work, I study the body in these ways, that we really are more alike than different.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I think science and spirituality is very, very close now too.
Oh, it sure is. In fact, I've actually had a chance to work with human cadavers over the many years of teaching. And, I realized that the more I worked with the human body, especially in the cadaver state, the more spiritual I became.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of people in the chat are asking questions. Eva asks, what can it do for an adult?
Ooh, when it comes to harmonizing energy, I think ultimately the number one benefit will be to relax the central nervous system. When I relax the central nervous system, healing is possible in any context. And this could be true for the mental health world, physical health world, spiritual health world. I think that we see a nice big movement in trauma healing, and any really well done trauma informed class will have a component of how do we bring this body into harmony, which scientifically will be called parasympathetic mode. But how do we help that body go into a rest and digest, a relaxation mode, because the body can only heal in its resting mode. It cannot heal in a stress response mode.
Okay.
So for adults, I definitely recommend Reiki or chakra alignment, any of these energy work practices for any adult to help bring ease, especially if we have felt the effects of the last 2 years, especially. It's interesting. Again, we can go on and on about all the stressors and what has done to people, and literally the scrolling of the phone all day, every day, seeing article after article. I think a lot of people have PTSD and don't even realize it.
Yeah.
I agree. And now
you could see what happened at Golden Corral a couple weeks ago.
Right? Now I'm hearing that blue light ages us. Like sitting in front of a computer or a phone now makes you age. And it's like, oh man, come on.
I've seen some scientific studies from Harvard and Yale that indicate that just viewing, like the act of scrolling all day long down the screen will literally witness changes in brain structure. So it literally changes the brain. That's just that's not a euphemism. It's a real phenomena that we're witnessing. So I'm definitely recommending to all my clients here in Arizona, get off the phone as much as you can. It doesn't benefit you to be on the phone all day.
No, I agree with that. And every once in a while I find myself slipping back into like a phone addict thing. And it's like, oh, put it down, turn it off, leave it alone, stop. So a couple of people, Lori was asking what your medical background is.
Yes, I've been a licensed massage therapist for 22 years and going strong. And actually, my life before massage therapy was in the political science world. I wanted to go to Washington, D.C. I worked through 2 internships there, and I thought I was going to save the whales and work with the Clintons back then and such. But then I realized D.C. is a whole and scummy town, so I didn't reverberate with that at all.
That's funny.
Okay, well, then what do I do with my life? My friends kept saying, hey, you should go to massage school. I'm like, come on, there's no school for this. Really? Is there a school for this? Really? Can I just learn this on a weekend? Well, sure enough, there's a school for it. So I had my first acclimation to energy work practices in my massage school, Salt Lake City, Utah, the Utah College of Massage. And it was really fascinating to get that first introduction, again, going from very, very hardline politic thinking. So I love politics, of course, to this day. April, I do.
I know. That's why you send me so many interesting things.
Right.
Jim will send there's a few people who have been ahead of the curve with some of the things that have been going on, and Jim's one of them.
Indeed. Fighting the good fight for sure. But certainly, again, I just realized that over the years that maybe we don't need to be so complex with ourselves. Maybe we can find simplicity in our healing, and having the ability to look within ourselves, and maybe a Reiki practitioner or an energy worker of some type, even a regular massage therapist of any type, could certainly help me bring myself back to my own body. So yes, medical practice certainly is a licensed massage therapist for 22 years, but I've also been certified now, the Arizona Trauma Institute. I'm going to hold my certificate up for you.
Hold it up a little bit higher so we can see.
Yes,
there you go.
Oh yeah. Hey.
Yes, Arizona trauma certifications. I've been working on formal trauma-informed coursework as well. So I'm augmenting. I really believe that the mental health aspects are so underserved in our country. We're just I think now in the precipice of big gains. And again, I think that there's a great marriage of what we've been learning in the physical healing world, along with spiritual healing world, within mental health. So that's going to be the next kind of direction my career takes me.
So my friend actually, my friend actually introduced me to Reiki a couple of years ago, and she was going through, her husband passed away suddenly, and she found herself a young widow, and she was angry and sad and angry and sad, and she's like, I don't know what to do. And then I guess somebody suggested to her, like, go to Reiki, and maybe it'll help you kind of release some of that. And she started going, and she said, this is helping me a lot. She goes, I feel so bad for the person working on me. She's like, because they just they absorbed so much energy, so much anger. But she found it to be really helpful. So whenever I started to get, like, as I call it, stressed as fuck, a lot of anxiety, I know it's time. Okay, go get Reiki done. It's time to have all that taken away. So with a lot of people dealing with anxiety and depression and anger right now, and everybody at Golden Corral in Philadelphia, we're talking to you. Reiki might be a very solid solution to help out.
I definitely agree. I feel like the average person, again, may not have learned means on coping and managing stress.
No.
I don't think we beat stress per se. I think we need to learn ways, and maybe some people have been blessed with having that taught to them as a child. That may not be the case. So certainly going to see a well-skilled therapist, massage therapist, or someone of that sorts will be able to really provide a safe environment. So really, ultimately, if you're looking for someone to do Reiki, really it's about, how do I feel with you? Do I feel safe in the space? And if I can feel safe and secure in your space, then I think Reiki can work wonders.
Okay, that's good to know. Very good to know. So for people who are dealing with a tremendous amount of anger and anxiety right now, is there anything you could suggest to help them that they can do?
Yes. And when I feel really, really stressed, I make sure I have sacred stones with me. I have a whole bunch of stones all over my house, all over my office. I have howlite with me, selenite, a whole gamut of
Selenite's a big one, right?
I love that we have, Aaron.
No, you know what's crazy? I had lost this probably, I'd say, close to 2 years ago, and it just showed up this morning.
Wow.
What? Really?
And it happened to be I don't carry around like stuff in my pocket all the time, but this, yes, it's now found its way back.
That's amazing, right? It was meant to be tonight.
Right.
That's neat. So, I definitely want a big fan of having something on your personage, because stones do carry an energy. They certainly do. That's not hippie jive to say. That is science right there. So just knowing that we can carry something with us, and all stones have a different vibration. And as we go through the course of chakra studies, we determine which stones are ideal for which placement on the body. But really, I think selenite's a great stone just for anyone to have. Even if you have like a selenite slab, like a larger size slab, maybe like double or triple the size, you can place all your other stones on top and charge your stones on the selenite. So I'm a big fan of that for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
also breath work. I think breath work is super powerful, since we don't usually take the time to breathe, or maybe someone has to remind us to breathe.
Like, what do you suggest? Like, can you put us through like a breathing thing?
Yes, let's do that.
All right. You guys want to do a breathing?
Yes.
A calm down breathing. Okay, let's
do this together. Let's go ahead and make sure that we have our hands free, but on our laps.
Okay.
On our laps. Now, if your hands are palms up, you are willing to receive. If they're palm down, we are doing this for security. So on your lap, either way you feel comfortable. Let's have a nice tall spine. As we inhale, let's bring the body up. As we exhale, let's really feel our body. And as we inhale, let's fill the belly. Filling the belly. As we exhale, let's empty the belly. Try to pull the belly button to spine with every exhale. Let's do this about 5 times. As we inhale, fill the belly with a tall spine. Exhale, empty the belly, pull the belly button to spine. Inhale again, nice tall spine. Exhale, empty fully. Inhale again, allowing the body to rise, the belly to fill. Exhale, descension, emptying the body. How did that feel?
Like I'm breathing better.
Good. We all do that here. The average person, unless they've had a yoga class or a musical instrument class, they really don't know how to breathe per se. So again, it's so important that we, again, find a means that works for us. Energy work will help, breath work will help. But I'm always big these days on helping clients see that the true answer to health really lies within. Yes, doctors will help you, other practitioners help you, but I think one of my strongest roles as a practitioner is to help my client with the realization that they can heal themselves. The body already knows what to do.
Okay, so here's a question for you. For people who think stones are very woo-woo and out there and, far out hippie stuff, what is your response to that? Now, I don't know what I think of stones, but I have them because, at the end of the day, why take a chance? So I also know if you're wearing metals, why wouldn't stones react with your body chemistry the way, a metal does? You wear a ring or a bracelet and your skin will turn because of the chemistry. Indeed. So why couldn't a stone have the same effect?
Yeah. In fact, stones are crystalline structures, just like our body is made of crystalline structure. It may not be shown in the anatomy book that way, but if you really look at the cellular level, our cells are more crystalline than we realize. Yes, there's fluid inside the cytosol gel, but certainly as far as the arrangement of molecules and the arrangement of how cellular structures develop, it develops in crystalline structures first, and then into its cellular form second. So that's one kind of cut on the answer there. Another cut of the answer is the idea that if I tap the stone, there's vibrations going through it, and it can be detected. A piezoelectric effect will take place in any tapped stone. Tapping the stone right now creates a piezoelectricity. Okay. Just like it would do in our bodies. Like in our bodies, if I like to do is put a stone on a body and tap the stone upon the body. In fact, Aron, if you want to do that right now, perhaps on your heart. On your heart. I don't want you to get overwhelmed tonight. There you go.
So should I be thinking anything when I'm doing this?
No, in fact, the less you think, the better. Less you think, the better. I think clearing the mind is always better when you do any energy practice like this. So what I'm doing right now, I know that there's going to be, I love that. April. Right on. Love it. So from here, as I do this, I know that there's an electricity being created. It's called piezoelectricity. This is really a big topic in the myofascial release world, as well as energy work practices. And there's something, again, about when I create piezoelectricity, we're creating these negative charges, and the negative charges will have an impact, just like that negative ionizer in your home is used to help clear the air and harmonize the room. You're creating that same negative ionizing effect within the structure that's on your body.
Wow. And you cut out there for the first part. I just we were tapping, and then it went a little kind of funky on my part. So what was the as you're tapping the electricity, does it kind of translate from the stone to your body, or?
It will, yes. In fact, there's piezoelectricity that occurs within the stone that can be then transmitted throughout the crystalline structures, then transmitting into my crystalline structure called body.
Wow.
No pounding. That'd be too much. Pounding is too much, though. Just a regular tap.
Just trying to get it done quicker.
Energy work the way it needs to. And that's something I need to make mention with Reiki. Those of you who are curious about Reiki, Reiki, I hear a lot of people give anecdotal stories on my whoever at home was cured of disease. And certainly I know that we all want to seek healing and such, but remember that Reiki will always provide what we need, not always what we want. There's a fine line in healing where a lot of people want to be healed. And I work with cancer patients here as well, oncology patients here in Arizona. And there are many oncology patients that want healing now, of course, because cancer effing. I'm allowed to say on this.
Yeah, you can say whatever. Yeah,
Okay, cancer fucking sucks. Okay, but I said it. It does. And so because cancer is so horrible for the body, any idea that can prompt healing will be seen as a good idea. But certainly someone may have to go through a learning curve in life and also learn maybe some valuable lessons in their healing journey before they are healed. So Reiki isn't magic. It's not like I wave my hand and you're healed. It's not like that. Although, I mean, like you said before, Aaron, about the religious aspects here, some religions may call it laying on of hands. Reiki certainly looks a lot like that. But a person can only heal to the extent that they are ready to heal. A person
that's deep.
Yes.
I need to hear that one, believe me.
God, repeat that again.
Yes.
Repeat that, por favor.
A person is only able to heal to the extent they're ready to heal.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm tapping. You see that?
Keep on going here.
So one of our viewers is actually she does Reiki as well, and she's kind of a crystal expert, Lori.
Oh yes, indeed, yes.
And she says, shouldn't you choose the appropriate stone or crystal for what you want the healing to do?
Yes, indeed.
So you have to do a little bit of research and look it up, right? Like certain crystals do certain things for you.
Indeed, yes, there are. That's why the chakra alignment classes can be full weekend-long classes, because there are going to be certain chakras for stones for different areas of the body. For example, I'm a big fan of howlite. Howlite is this nice kind of like really bright kind of white stone, and it's really great for the third eye area to clear the mental energy. So yes, exactly right. We do need to do our research and take a formal class. Again, maybe more than just a 1 hour YouTube. Really take a formal class. They're really fun. You can play with stones, get stoned in class.
Hey.
Get two birds stoned at once.
Yep. Exactly. But certainly it is very, each stone has its own healing properties. And there's a book I use actually about that called the Chakra Bible.
Wow.
Patricia Mercier. And to go along with Lori's question again, I love her question because yes, a Chakra Bible or a resource like this will be great to look up if I do have anxiety or whatnot. If there's matters of the heart, perhaps in matters of the heart, I like jade stone a lot. I've got some jade right here with me. And if there's ever kind of a challenge of my love life with my special someone at home, then I get that jade stone out a lot.
Can I buy stock in that jade?
Yes, you sure can. Exactly. Right. Jimmy G stock right there. Yes.
So that's awesome. So so if they wanted to take a class with you or come out to Arizona, or if they're in Arizona, where can they find you?
Oh yes, my website, www.advancedmassagece.com. CE stands for continuing education. So we do a lot of continuing education here in Arizona, classes every single week, and I'll be doing chakra classes throughout the year.
Oh wow. And do you do anything online, or is everything in person?
Not yet online. That's going to change next year for sure. So I know as transition takes place and such in life, shift happens a lot. So that will be more likely online. So we are going to eventually transition much of our hands-on courses to online next year. But certainly we do Reiki. I do Reiki distance healing sessions as well. Those are always a blast.
That's cool.
One of our viewers, Chris, wants to know shungite. It's said to protect you from negativity, radio waves, arthritis. He said there's a scientific study on this stone. Are you familiar with it, or just not?
Indeed.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Give you an Air 5. So, right on Air 5. Indeed.
So if somebody has, negativity, radio waves, arthritis. I mean, that's kind of everything, right?
There's something about arthritis that's fascinating. Arthritis really comes down to misalignments of the body, but I'm also someone who has this idea that if there's misalignments in your body, there's likely misalignments in your life. I'm a firm believer that the physical shows up and kind of translates into the overall life, and vice versa. If my life is topsy-turvy, herky-jerky, just everywhere, my body will feel that as well, and that will also become misaligned. So I fully acknowledge that as I align the physical, align the spiritual, align harmoniously, other aspects of my life just start falling into place. And my life is just simply a verification of that. If you had known me back in 2006, April and Aaron, you would have kind of thought, this guy's a hot mess. What is going on with him? He is
kind of like me right now.
Yes, indeed. It's certainly, my life was not I was homeless back then. It was definitely not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Life was definitely not working out for me back in like 2005. But then, as I learned how to assimilate myself first, healer, heal thyself. As I did my inner work, inner healing, and I aligned myself with my body and values and choice, and I started making choices in alignment thereof, I started to see other aspects of life start to align as well. So that's kind of an interesting side effect, I suppose, of Reiki, is when we become harmonized mind, body, spirit, soul, other parts of our life seem to kind of fall into place much better.
Yeah, I think that works for all energy. When you can get control or alignment of your energy, you tend to, everything else kind of falls into place. Our producer was saying he's heard a lot about am I saying this right? Shungite with 5G stuff for people that have 5G issues, and someone else, Lori, said it's good for putting near the computer to protect.
Indeed. Now, unfortunately, here in my building, I had to convert to the 5G. I didn't even have my regular 4G option anymore for my Wi-Fi. So I think that as just transition occurs, we are going to be more sensitive to what our environments entail, and we're not going to get a choice. 5G is coming. It's already here, and more buildings are just going to assimilate that. So I definitely am a big fan of having stones kind of all over the building to make sure that we can have safe places, safe havens in our home, to really be able to cleanse and clear.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm a big fan of choice, so hey. Anyway,
is there anything else like that you'd recommend in like just keeping your home clear? I was always big on the sage. April actually got me turned on to Palo Santo, which that's some good smelling stuff. It's almost like frankincense a little bit, but that has a similar effect to sage, I've heard, for cleansing.
It definitely is a very clearing element. The more we can have these clearing elements in our home, the better. And I'm a big fan of any sort of stone that involves grounding, especially these days, especially with all the electricity, radiation, the noise of life. I think the more grounding we can have, the better. So I'm a big fan of the red root chakras. The root chakra represents the base of our body, the foundation of our body. So any sort of red jasper, ruby, garnet, red shade stone, even hematite. Hematite's a wonderful grounding stone as well, except hematite does have a good metallic component. So don't have hematite by your electronics. Mess up those electronics there. Also, Snowflake Obsidian. I'm a big fan of Snowflake Obsidian. Has a nice kind of Dalmatian-like look to it.
I've seen that. Yeah, it's spotted.
Really a nice one. And I've discovered that, again, the more noise, and I'm in Phoenix, so certainly a lot of noise everywhere. So many people moving here every year. I feel it, the 5G invading us. So I definitely feel like I need every year I replenish and restore and grow my stock of stones and such. I find that Snowflake Obsidian is also really great too. And my wife actually is also using sage a lot in our building, because we have classes and people come in our building every day. So we use a lot of sage and sweetgrass. Sage to clear the negative, sweetgrass to bring in the positive. And she was actually taught by many Native Americans here, the Yavapai individuals here. So I'm glad that she has a little tribal training as well.
Yes, as I said, the sweetgrass. When I've done sweat lodge, sweetgrass is one of the four herbs that you bring in. Yeah.
Indeed. So
yeah, very cool.
I'm a big fan.
So people who are skeptical of energy work, and there are people who are skeptical, of course, but I can tell you that when you walk into a room or a situation and you can kind of feel the energy of the room, this kind of proves that the energy there is real and it can be felt. So if you ever walk into a hostile situation and you find yourself backing out because you're like, oh, I don't know what's going on there, but I know I don't want to be part of it. Or you can walk into another room and be like, oh, I like this. It's got a cool vibe in here. So you can feel the energy and you can change your energy and you can control it and control it being more aligned and keep yourself in better mental and physical health with that.
Indeed. And that's why I love the lights behind you, April, those pointed lights. That's actually the perfect way to answer that idea and discuss the idea, because what are we in the end of the day? I'm not just flesh, bone, and fascia, as I say in class. I'm a spirit and a soul, and I'm spinning wheels of light. atoms in the essence. We're all made of, trillions upon trillions upon trillions, gazillions of atoms put together in really cool human form. And an atom is simply a spinning wheel of light. Electrons spinning around, the Jimmy neutrons in the middle, the protons in the middle. It's all that spinning. As I make that special effect, that spinning, it's light. It creates an energy to it. So we are energy. I mean, certainly medical disciplines may view the body in different ways as flesh, bone, fascia. PTs might view the body as levers and pulleys and such. In the energy world, we just recognize that we see ourselves as light beings. In fact, that's where the word soul even stems from. Soul, a Latin word, root word, implying light within us.
Soul is
the sun.
Oh,
sun, yes.
Soul. Okay.
Yeah.
I never connected this two.
In fact, in the chakra alignment healing world, there's a soul star chakra that would kind of be between the base of the sternum, the tip of the sternum, and your belly button. If you go kind of halfway between those spots, kind of in what they say would in between the second and third chakras. So I guess chakra 2.5 would be your soul star chakra. And it's said in many avenues in Eastern faiths that your soul lives in certain parts of your body. In Ayurveda, it's said to live in that soul star.
Yes. Also called the seat of the soul in Egyptian, I believe, tradition. I believe that's called, which is interesting. Yeah.
Every culture has an interesting way to interpret it. So I hope that people, as they do their study, recognize that, yes, even though different parts of the world have different languages and words and such they use, we're all talking about the same idea. We're all just trying to find a way to describe that we are light beings and we can sense something in us. What do we call it? Chi, ki, prana, whatever it is. We know there's something to us more than just the physical you can touch.
Yes, that which animates us.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
Now, if
soul beings having a human experience.
So true.
Yeah. Now, Jimmy, if again we're not feeling like bumbling balls of light, like let's say our wheels of light are stuck in the mud. Can we do anything other than we sage, the breathing technique?
Chocolate, a hot shower.
Yes.
Yeah. Are there any other things like I guess any kind of like quick hacks we can do if we're on our way to a business meeting,
singing,
dancing, like anything to kind of like help us out like that. Yeah.
One would be movement. So perhaps a yoga. There are certain yoga poses that are ideal for the chakras. And so in fact, there's a resource I have that is a yoga guide that actually gives you a kind of a one-page deal. Here's a yoga pose. Here are the chakras it's aligned for. For example, the camel pose, where again the arms come backward, the throat and heart are opened up. So again, any yoga pose that can be used to open up a chakra area can be a really good choice.
One of our viewers, John, says a good orgasm.
Oh, well,
oh my God.
Right?
Yeah. Correct, indeed. The root does need attention. Yes, it does.
So that's the root chakra right there, right?
Exactly, right?
Yep.
So,
or wait, it's your orange one, your sacral chakra, right?
both benefit for sure.
Okay.
Practice, but that's whole other show. We can from there, I can also kind of hold a ball of energy. I can kind of like create a ball, and I can perhaps put the kind of ball I create, like in Tai Chi practice, kind of creating a ball of energy and kind of placing it at my body, and have breathing exercises at each chakra center. And we really could get deep. If you do want to get deep into this, there's more than 7, by the way. There's 114 chakras.
Right. I heard there's like chakras even outside us and like in other planes of existence, dimensions, whatever. Like we emanate this energy there. So that's pretty trippy.
Yeah, that does get
I
very
believe
deep.
that. Because you can always tell what kind of energy someone's like coming off of them. You can tell someone, if you're in tune and paying attention, you can tell kind of what's going on with them before they even open their mouths. You can see and feel that energy emanating from them.
So true.
And that's why I really loved about Massage School, because again, life in Washington, D.C., when I'm 19 years old, I certainly wasn't in that kind of mindset. My mindset was, this going on in politics. So to be able to take myself out of that world and put myself into this world of all worlds, I'm using a lot of different parts of my brain more often, assimilating messages, but ultimately I'm able to kind of sense the body. Ultimately, any Reiki class, chakra alignment class, I ideal to help me, the practitioner, learn how to sense the body and work with it.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Well,
Wow.
thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my pleasure to be here.
And real quick, you said something about pelvic floor. You mentioned that. Before you go, I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, the pelvic floor, long story short, everyone needs to strengthen the pelvic floor because it's weak on every single person.
And speaking of orgasms here, okay, pelvic floor.
Exactly. Well, that's one way to strengthen your pelvic floor. But certainly there's something, again, about the average American, I think, it just has a lack of awareness because, again, taboo of, you're talking about that part? What?
Mm-hmm.
We want to know.
Yes.
Tell us what we can do to make life better.
In my world, in the massage therapy world, I'm not allowed to even talk about that, right? We're not massaging that, of course. But there's something again about the idea that if I have muscle weakness or connective tissue weakness, some might say a weak root chakra, weak Muladhara Hara energy, then the
you mean
is there.
Ah.
Indeed, the weak structures, the weakness there will make it so those organs don't function properly. They may prolapse. Many challenges can take place. So really, everyone should be strengthening their pelvic floor with Kegel exercises, with certain yoga poses, with squatting, bridge pose in yoga would be great too. Anything to strengthen the gluteal area and really engage the lower areas of the body would be a good benefit for everyone, not just if you're older. Anyone can benefit.
Okay.
Awesome. Very cool.
And ultimately, we can entice them by saying you'll have better and stronger orgasms, right?
Yes, so true. That's actually very true. In fact, after I finish my yoga teacher training, I'm just going to say all well.
Hey, there you go. That's it.
Tell us again where we can find you. And that's
Yes, that's advancedmassageCE.com. And again, based in Tempe, Arizona, we do a myriad of classes here. And again, a lot will be more featured online in coming months.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for being on here.
Yes,
appreciate it.
I appreciate that very much. I appreciate this time.
Yeah, ditto.
Likewise.
Well, I guess we are out of time, and you're welcome to stay around. We're out of time, so is it time for the pec flex?
Oh yeah, it already did. I was tapping, but
I had a question. I had a question for Jimmy.
You know you're supposed to cut in whenever you want.
Yes,
Colin.
No, you're good. You're good. So this picture, what do you think of Aron's root chakra here in this picture, Jimmy?
Like, I'm kind of wondering if he's trying to protect it with his hands.
Yes, it clearly looks like I'm putting my hands where I should not be putting them for a picture. Right, that's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Your arms look great, though, for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
I wasn't thinking. I'm thinking he looks like he's clasping. He's clasping his hands.
Like that's so not me. Like I'm not that guy.
He's just protecting it. That's all. It's safe.
Oh yeah, all right.
Because we're shooting that day, and I just jumped in, and you were just like, "I don't want to do this."
Very good.
Oh, there you go.
Very good.
And I will not be in Oak Grove. I will be at the Crockett Cup, and look forward to being there. So, Certified Wrestling Podcast, thank you for stopping by, and there's the answer to your question.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess
we need good wrestling out here in Arizona. We need more good wrestling. So come out here, please.
Well, Jimmy, that's my thing. I'm going that laugh I just did. I before he came on, I said I'm going to start doing that because I want to incorporate that into my wrestling side.
Yes.
So I'm testing it out with everyone on here. So I wasn't trying to be a smart ass or anything.
I was going to say, if you need a manager by your side, I talked to Dave Prazak in 1996. I turned you down back then, but I'll say yes to you, sir, to be a manager.
Jimmy, I'm going to be very honest with you. I am not the guy to be having that conversation with because I will have you shooting Reiki energy across the ring and crippling my opponent. I will do it.
Like Spider-Man, you just be like this.
Or I could be all messed up and then you heal me and bring me back to life.
I think that's what Hogan did to Nash at that finger poke of death. I think that's what he did to him.
Yes. Absolutely. 100%.
That's right.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh my God, that's great.
Well, anyway, thank you to everybody who has come in tonight. Thank you to all our subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And thanks to everybody who has thrown bits. I see Corgo. Thank you, Chuck. And you guys, I really appreciate you showing up. We all appreciate you showing up. Mm-hmm. And you can find all our shows on patreon.com, the A Show. So if you want to catch all of them, plus all the little extras that we have done for our patrons, go there. And we will see you again next Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern. Right?
If you like the show, tell a friend. If you don't, tell an enemy.
Woo!